morning, church family. Welcome back to our Bible reading plan. Today, I'm actually down at Gateway Seminary. You might hear the raindrops. It's raining outside, but it's my job this week to recap our Bible reading plan for the week. But I wanted to start with the question. Have you ever been accused of something that you didn't really do? Now, most of us probably have, right? If we've lived in this life for long enough, you're going to be accused of something you didn't really do. Well, what do you do in that situation? Well, typically we'll appeal to a source or we'll say, well, ask this person. Or let's get another opinion on this. Maybe if it's something bad, you ask for a trial. Let's get a jury together to try it out. I'm reminded actually of the last Olympics. My wife and I love to watch the gymnastics in the Olympics. And one of the gymnasts actually was counted off for something from another country that they didn't do, and they appealed to the judges, but then the judges said, well, we don't can't really determine it. So what did they do? They had to appeal to a higher authority, and actually we didn't get understanding of this for weeks until later about this situation, because they have to keep appealing to a higher and higher authority. Now, that all has to do with what's happening at end of book of Acts. In Acts 25, Paul is being put on trial basically before Agrippa and before these other guys. Festus first in chapter 25. And then he says, hey, I want to go to Caesar. So he keeps appealing to a higher and higher source because basically Paul's being accused of something he isn't doing. Yes, he's being accused of preaching the gospel, which he is doing, but the accusation really is that his gospel is causing riots, it's causing disruption. And Paul's saying, no, I'm preaching the gospel, which actually doesn't cause chaos, it brings us peace. And he keeps appealing higher and higher because he knows they really don't have a case against him. But for these chapters 25, 26, 27, he keeps getting put to another trial and another trial and another. And we see this theme that's been going on through the book of Acts, that Paul actually is being persecuted for his faith, and he's standing strong on it. At the end of the book, in chapter 28, he is sent to Rome, where he's put on house arrest, where most folks believe he's put on house arrest not forever, for a short time until he's released again. But ultimately, we don't know exactly when, but ultimately he's going to be arrested again after the book of Acts and then killed for his faith. What's interesting is we also started reading this week chapter 1 of Romans, which is kind of interesting because Acts ends in Rome. And then we get the book of Romans. And some people assume, well, that's why it's tied there. And it's possible. But really, what we're seeing at the beginning of the Romans is what we see at the end of Acts too, though. Is Paul says in chapter 1 of Romans, the whole point of the book is that I'm here to defend the gospel. I'm going to explain it to you guys, and I'm going to stand on it. And isn't that what he did? He did that in chapters 25 through 28 of the book of Acts, and he did that at the end of his life when he was killed for the faith. Even though he was accused of something that he didn't really do, but he kind of was doing what they said he did. He was preaching the gospel. But Paul stood firm on the gospel. Reminder for us in this is that Christians, sometimes we will be accused of things, but let's make sure that we're standing on godliness and the gospel, and then we should stand strong. Even if we're accused and we have to appeal to higher and higher sources, God will be with us. He was with Paul, and in the end, even when Paul was killed for his faith, he was secure in his salvation in Christ. What a cool way to end the book of Acts. And what a cool reminder for us as Christians to stand strong on our faith. And so now as we go to the book of Romans, we're going to see exactly what that faith entails. He's going to explain the faith of Christianity. He's going to explain sin and salvation and sanctification and what it means to grow in Christ. And he actually even points to the end of all times when Christ returns in this book. So the book of Romans is a great place to go after the book of Acts, because where we learn in Acts to stand on our faith, the book of Romans kind of says, here's what we are standing on. So let's look forward to that time together. I'm excited as we continue our reading plan. We'll see you in the next video.